pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first we've got an approval of the memorandum of the July 1st, 2019 regular meeting. A copy has been posted. Any questions?
Make a motion to approve.
We've got a motion to approve from Vice President Failer, second from Councilor Spies. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? The memorandum of the July 1st, 2019 regular town council meeting is approved by a vote of 5 in favor, 0 opposed. Amy, any requests to speak?
No, there are no requests to speak.
Okay, and we also have no old business. Next up, we've got a consideration of an additional appropriation resolution, Fire Capital Fund, in the amount of $73,000 for mechanical CPR devices. This is a public hearing in resolution number 2019-09. Chief Van Gorder.
Thank you, Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen of the council. I have with me this morning Division Chief of Emergency Medical Services, Steve Gillum. We come before you this morning requesting an additional appropriation from within the fire department funds of $73,000. Very shortly, I'll have Steve describe in detail some of the benefits of this piece of these equipment that we'd like to add to our inventory to provide better services to the constituents for which we serve. However, we do realize that everything takes funding and stuff. So the funds that are coming from this are coming specifically from the fire department. One of the things that we wanted to bring to your attention over the past 4 years, the fire department does bill for ambulance runs and EMS services that we do transport and care for individuals, and that we have exceeded the projections that you guys have looked at over the past 4 years for our budgetary purposes in the amount of $336,000. So those are the funds that we would plan on using or accessing to be able to fund the $73,000 to improve our medical capabilities to our constituents. At this time, I'll allow Division Chief of EMS, Steve Gillum, to come forward. I would, before he speaks, like to call special attention. This project's been going on a little over a year. We have committees that work on various different things within the fire department, and we have an EMS committee that's been working on this project that consists of firefighter paramedic Casey Curtis, firefighter EMT Dylan Fredrickson, firefighter paramedic Drew Goss, firefighter paramedic Corey Miller, and firefighter EMT Matt Petro, firefighter paramedic Trey Schmidt, and firefighter paramedic Joe Wheater have all been part of this committee that have worked very diligently. And I would note at last month's safety board meeting, they came in and we did a full-scale demonstration with the devices and mannequins. We weren't able to keep all the equipment around to do it again, but we did provide that, and Councilor Trailer and Plunkett were in attendance, and they may be able to provide some background, but I'll let Steve take it from there.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, councilors. So what we're looking for is a device called the Lucas 3 CPR device. It's an automated CPR device that when put on a patient does consistent CPR at a rate of 100 compressions per minute, which are the standards for doing CPR. One of the biggest changes that we're seeing, or something that's being recognized as creating more survivability from cardiac arrest, is actually bringing the head of the patient up about 30 degrees while you're doing compressions. With manual CPR, that can't be done. It has to be an automated device that does that. So what we're seeing is better oxygenation to the brain or cerebral blood flow as compressions are being done with these type of devices. So we really want to do our best to improve our cardiac arrest outcomes and our survivability for those patients who have just sudden cardiac arrest. And we found that through research, we're a committee, we tried several different devices. One we were quickly, easily able to decide wasn't going to be the best fit. And then the two other, which are the most two popular in the industry out there, we did trials on both of them with patients and found that the Lucas device was more likely the better fit, and we felt it the better device for putting on patients and deploying in the field. I'm happy to entertain any questions you guys might have on that.
This is a Lucas 3. I'm assuming there was a 1 and 2.
There were, yes. So the original device was a pneumatic device, which actually hooked to one of our air bottles that did pneumatic compressions. So the 2 was a more battery operated, a little less loud, a little more condensed. And the 3, the biggest difference is the data the analytics you can pull from the device after the use. You can tell how many pauses there were and the use of the device. You can pull that along, and it will pair with the data from your cardiac monitor to show you the two working together, how well the event went. And you can take those analytics and build from it.
When did the 3 come out?
The 3 has been out for about 2 years now.
Okay.
Yeah. So it came out, I'm not sure exactly what date, but I think it was the most recent version of the 3 was not too long before we started. So 1.5 years, maybe 2 years.
I just know that only concern is there going to be a 4, 6
Yeah,
months
right.
from now.
So no, we've looked at
You
that.
never-
We've talked to the vendor, and the 3 was leaps and strides from the 2 just
Right.
because of the data you could get. So they don't anticipate anything newer coming out within the next year or 2, 3 or 4. So.
Yeah, Jamie sent me a link, and I looked on that. As somebody that does this training yearly,
Yes.
this is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, not something I could afford to have in my office just in case, but it'd be nice. I mean, I could see where that would be nice. And when you're transporting somebody, I could see where that would be.
And that's
a
it.
huge-
CPR in a moving vehicle cannot be done by a person, not quality CPR. And this device will allow for that to
Yeah,
happen.
I could see where this would be a huge.
Yes, yes. These devices are even being used in cath labs. So they're actually taking the patient and they're doing bypass during the procedure, opening up the cardiac arteries, coronary arteries, and getting patient revived through that process.
Wow.
So, yeah. And one of the other device that we strongly looked at causes interference in the procedure, so it doesn't work in the cath lab like this one does. So that was one of our considerations for the device.
How many devices does this buy?
4.
Is that
4.
one per ambulance?
Yes. So all of our frontline ambulances and one for our reserve ambulance that we use often for special events, football games, so forth.
Yeah.
Are these devices portable and such that if
Yes,
you,
it's a
not
small
in-
backpack size device that you can put on. It fits it nicely in a compartment we have on the ambulance. We've looked at where we could put it if we were able to get them, so fits in there real nice. One person can bring it in, one person can deploy it.
So if an EMT or paramedic group is going out without an ambulance,
We
Can-
don't have a non-paramedic response necessarily. All of our ambulances are staffed with one paramedic and one EMT, so anytime there's a medical call, they get at least one paramedic. Yeah.
but that paramedic may not necessarily have this device because it's on the ambulance,
All the
correct?
ambulances will have them, but
Okay.
if the engine were to arrive first, it would not necessarily
So they
have
would
them.
just apply regular CPR and wait till the...
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, as far as, the quality of CPR, bystander CPR is still good CPR, and it's
Sure.
imperative that we get that. We get people to start CPR before we get there. That's really what makes the biggest difference. But the continuation of quality, continuous CPR is where these devices are making a huge difference. So I can do some good CPR in a scene for a little while, but this device can keep doing it, so.
Will there be additional training required, and will there only be a certain number of people who have the capabilities to operate this machine?
Everyone
or
on
could
the
everybody?
department
Okay.
will be trained in how to operate it, and that's part of the purchase, is that Stryker will come in and do the training with everyone to make sure that we're all proficient in it. But it's pretty easy to use. It's amazing how quickly one person can deploy this device.
Then will we be required, since there probably are a lot of computer components to this, will you have to upgrade it on a yearly basis, or will there be, and is that included in this, or is this going to
Yeah,
be
so
additional?
there's a PM agreement included in that for maintenance and upgrade of software. But again, we don't anticipate any huge advancements in the procedure or the device.
How common is it for departments to have these?
We're seeing more departments purchase these, and knowing there are some departments out there that have shown significant improvement in their cardiac arrest, and it's through the use of a CPR device. And different departments have used different manufacturers, but it's a combination of things that are really being successful. And the heads-up CPR is one of the key things, and again, that can't be done very well without one of these devices. So you're seeing more and more. Stat Flight, which is St. Vincent's Air Medical, they just purchased them for their helicopters. And I know some of the neighboring departments has them, Fishers, Noblesville, and I think Carmel's getting ready to purchase some as well.
You know, one piece that when you did the demonstration during the safety board meeting, that it kind of came into, it came across to me pretty loud and clear was the impact on the families. And if you come across someone currently that needs CPR, you stay there and do the CPR. You do not move them. You see, they're in the house or wherever
That's correct.
you find them until you get a heartbeat and can transport them.
Yes.
Whereas this, you're putting it on and you can take them out, and in addition to potentially saving a life, you also, if that person cannot be saved, you've perhaps reduced the impact on that family of having to watch that individual receive CPR there in the home.
So yes, quality CPR again cannot be done by a person in a moving ambulance. It's just not, we're just not able to do it while we're driving down the road. Whereas this device can do that. So if the decision to make transport were to happen, this device would do that consistent quality CPR en route to the hospital.
Yeah.
And it would also free up staff to actually help with the family members. And that's sometimes one of the biggest, as the providers we have on the scene, is we have family members who may be there and need our assistance at that moment. But when we've got staff rotating through CPR to try to provide the best CPR we can, that ties up those individuals. This will allow for those individuals, some of those individuals, to now work with that family and help them in this situation. So they can help make those phone calls, they can help get a better maybe medical history so we can provide that to the ER and the physician.
As I mentioned, this is a public hearing, and I have proof of publication here. I will open the public hearing if anyone would like to comment on this matter. All right, I will close the public hearing. Any other questions from councilors? Or any motions on this agenda item?
Approve. Second.
First from Councilor Spies, second from Councilor Plunkett. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Resolution number 2019-09 passes with a vote of 7 in favor, 0 opposed. Thank you, gentlemen. Next, we've got a consideration of a resolution of the Town Council authorizing certain types of investments. This is resolution number 2019-10. Ms. Lacey, you want to remind us on this one?
Yeah, it's nothing new. We already have this ordinance in place. It just allows the mayor and myself to invest funds on behalf of the town. It's coming to you again today just because, according to state law, we must renew it every year. So it's the same ordinance.
Questions for Amy?
Need to make any changes to the ordinance because of any other federal or state changes? It's just the same exact thing.
It seems the same.
Yes.
Can you remind us what?
That was my head shakes, but no one else.
Oh, yes.
So the answer is, it is the same, and we don't have to make any changes. It's just something that has to be renewed annually. So.
And what are the investments you're making today? Are you doing like wild derivatives or something like that? Just very risky?
Very risky. No, we have investments with Trust Indiana, which is not risky. It has very good liquidity. We also have, on our biggest accounts, we have money market sweep savings accounts that maximizes our interest.
Boring but safe. That's probably a good thing.
Yes, exactly.
Any other questions or take a motion?
I move approval.
Go first from Councilor Suarez. I will.
Second.
I'll second it. Beat you to it. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Resolution number 2019-10 passes with a vote of 7 in favor, 0 opposed. We've got one other matter. Mr. Steve Carter, who represents Senator Braun's office, is here, and he wanted to update us briefly on how him and his services and Senator Braun can help Zionsville.
Mr. President, members of the council, thank you for giving me a moment. I will be very brief, just a couple of points. First, Senator Braun wanted me to thank you for your public service. He comes from a background of having served on his local school board for about 10 years. Did a little bit of time in the state legislature, but his major exposure to government has been at the local level, so he appreciates what you do to make your community better every day. The second thing he wants to do is make sure that his office is available to the community. So we are reaching out to you as council members. I have met with the mayor and discussed local issues with him. We also have held a what we call a mobile office at your library recently, so we'll continue to do that kind of thing in the future. So that's all I have today. If you have any questions, I would attempt to answer them.
Questions for Mr. Carter? All right. Thank you, Steve, for coming up this morning.
Much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second from Councilor Spies and a second from Councilor Suarez. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? This meeting is adjourned by a vote of 7 in favor, 0 opposed. The next regular Town Council meeting is scheduled for Monday, August 5th, 2019 at 7 o'clock p.m. in Zionsville Town Hall Council Chambers.